Are we obsessed?
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. I'd say that's the word. You're obsessed.
Obsessed is
Yeah,
the word,
definitely.
I think.
We're obsessed.
It could be used.
Well, in my shows, I always like to have an element of risk, mostly on the part of those watching the show.
Well, I think there's a lot of people in the society just waiting to hear this kind of revelation. So we're providing a service that is absolutely necessary.
I just met them at work. They were just a bunch of guys at work. It sounded like one of the neatest things I could ever think of doing. Why do I build these machines? Probably to clean up, polish up my image just slightly. The enemies? I get it. It does have to have a paranoid edge to it. Now, maybe you guys are my enemies.
Well, what do you think? I don't know the message. I think it's all there in Marshall McLuhan.
Yeah, McLuhan said it all.
Yeah, he said the media.
Yeah, he said the media.
The media is the poor medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well, the way I see it, we've moved from a time of apathy to one of outright lethargy. To become lethargic is to be less than benign, to be below apathy. And all of modern events are a reaction to this lethargic condition. And we have just taken this to its next logical level. We deal in the range of ideas that are completely absurd. As soon as something begins to make sense to us, we get rid of it.
Yeah, usually in the form of a donation to the NEA.
Yeah. But then you see it everywhere. It's hard to maintain a level of absurdity.
Somebody is always taking you seriously.
Washer at home broke down. Decided to turn it into a machine of destruction, which I can describe over here. Central power shaft came up at top. Then there was the rotor which goes on top, which would normally have water pumped through it, and the water pressure would cause this to spin around, and this would spray and wash the dishes. Well, I connected that to the drive shaft in such a fashion that as it began to spin around, it became very unstable, and the entire machine would rock, and there's the possibility of this blade flying off in whatever direction might be possible.
This is a diagram of a Jacob's ladder. The Jacob's ladder is powered by a high voltage supply. In the case of the performance object, it was a neon sign transformer, which puts out about 12 kilovolts. And if I'm right about how the thing works, the ionized air heats up, which allows the ionization voltage to be lowered per inch, such that the ionized air will propagate up at whatever speed hot air rises, and allows the spark to go to wherever the point is that it's too wide apart, at the point where the frog, of course, has a dielectric strength which is greater than air, and so that's where the ionization stops, where the frog is placed. And propagates upward to this place here, where the frog is, which has a higher dielectric strength than air does, and so the spark is extinguished at that point there.
The blender blades machine is your basic terror kitchen appliance. I took this machine and I stripped it of its non-essential components that the original engineers at the factory had designed, of course, to protect people from cutting their finger off. I plug that thing into the wall, and when that blender blades machine is turned on, those blades just scream. Somebody, could stick their finger in there, cut it clean off. The key to finding absurdity is really just a question of public access. Access to context. Context is everything. We don't acknowledge the artificial boundaries that the propaganda we're surrounded by has tried to force us to believe. I took that blender from the kitchen into the living room.
No, we don't have to do this kind of stuff. We could be rich programmers in Silicon Valley.
Come to think of it,